Yes, you are welcome to our basic science class. We've been taking a series on living things. Today we are taking another series on our living things series. And today we are taking part 8. So if you have not watched the series from part 1 to part 7, please navigate through the channel. You will find them. I'll put the link to some of the parts below this video. We are still on growth and development. In our previous class, we explained what growth is, we explained development, and we saw permanent changes that happens in humans and then temporary changes that happens in humans. And so today we are going to look at growth and development. How does this affect a person, a human being? We are going to look at factors affecting growth and development, and then factors promoting growth and development. They seem alike, they look alike, but we'll try to differentiate them a little, even if they have some of the features are similar. But we will take it at that, so that in your exams, if you see the factors that promote, you can be able to answer it. Factors that affect, you can be able to answer it. They work together. They work in unionism. But let us look at them. This part I'm going to talk about factors affecting growth. And here I'm going to talk about factors that promote growth. And so we'll look at 5 factors that affect growth and development, which are physical factor, emotional factor, social factor, economic factor, and environmental factor. When we look at the physical factor that promotes growth, it has to do with the physical development. The physical development that can affect the growth of an individual. If an individual has some malformation, his physical growth is going to be stunted or is going to be disturbed. There's going to be problem along the line. Maybe as a result of hormonal abnormality, or because of some disease condition that the individual later develop later on in life. The physical factor that affects human development has to do with the physical makeup, physical build-up that the individual come up with, or the individual have developed from time of conception till the child is born, until growth physically is evidence. That's physical factor. And so these physical factors that can affect us can be as a result of our environmental condition, family background, economic well-being, and then genetics. We'll talk about those ones as we proceed in our class. But those are the factors that can affect our physical well-being. Then emotion. Emotion has to do with our mental mind, what we think about, what surrounds us that affects our behavior, and what affects our personality. And so things that affect growth and development can be our emotion. When we're emotionally not stable, for example, people from a broken home, their stability emotionally is always questionable because there are crises here and there. Then, once the individual is sick or is traumatized in one way or the other, the death of a loved one, the death of a family member, the loss of job, the lack of love and the care that comes from a family or people that live around your environment, can have negative effects on your growth and development emotionally. Then we'll look at the social factor. Social factor, economic factor, monetary factor, financial factor, our ability to provide good nutrition to our system. All of these play a part in social factor. People you surround yourself with, people you grow up together with. Imagine somebody a child that has been raped by a trusted person, maybe an uncle, maybe a cousin, even the father. Now look at the social environment the child finds himself, the kind of school we go to, the people we socialize with, the people in our neighborhood, our peer group. These factors affect our social well-being and invariably affect our growth and development. Because growth has to do with increment in size, in weight, and in emotional stability, mental development. While development has to do with other areas of life that has to do with mentality, behavior, and the rest of them. Things that affect the mind and things that makes us a better you and a total you. Now we talk about economic, monetary. You believe with me that the kind of food you take in can help your development greatly. So if the economic well-being is not there, the economic factor is not there, a child might not feed well, the child will be malnourished, the child will not develop well mentally, the growth rate will not be strong, the growth rate will be slow, unlike the child that has all the basic kind of minerals and vitamins that the body needs. The child develops better than the other child that lacks those areas. So economic well-being or economic factor plays a great role in our development and in our growth. If you are not well fed, your growth will not be okay. Your mental development or your development in general is going to be affected. Good. Then we'll talk about the environmental factor. Things that you surround yourself with matters a lot. Our environment plays a very high factor in our development. If the people you wake up every morning to see are poor people, are people who have no vision and goal, are people who are smokers and people who are not goal-oriented, if people you surround yourself or people that live in your environment are people who don't have good moral behavior, you see the child born to that environment, it will take a struggle for that child to develop good morals, to develop good mental ability, to develop good judgment, to develop into a well-respected individual, because he's going to copy his environment. The environment have an imprintation in our life. So, the environment we expose ourselves to and our children and family to matters a lot. So please, choose a good environment to expose your children to. The friends you make tells a lot about you. If you have 5 good friends around you and they are goal-oriented people, people who want to get it, people who are mentally stable, people who are economically stable, people who are intellectually driven, you see yourself trying to fit into their environment, trying to fit into their group. So our environment plays a great role. So these are factors. The list is not exhausted. I just took these 5 points. You can think of any other points you think can work out for us here, and then add it to these ones I have mentioned. Now let's look at factors promoting growth and development. Growth and development. I will talk about 8 of them. Hereditary, sex, environment, exercise and health, hormones, nutrition, family influence, socio-economic status. How does our hereditary affect our growth and development? We inherit characteristics and features from our parents. Our parents inherit from their parents, so it's generational. And so these things are imprinted in our DNA, and these are the things that comes up as a feature in our life. That's why when you give birth to a child, it resembles one of the family member, either in the paternal side or in the maternal side. So also we inherit disease condition like obesity, like diabetes, and and the host of other elements that can be genetically identical. So genetics or hereditary has a great role to play in our physical well-being, in our development. If there are malformation from our generation or from our parents, we're going to inherit it. We're going to inherit it. So that's hereditary. Sex. The gender of a child determines his physical futures, his physical development. We see when you give birth to a child, a boy or a girl, at a time you see that the boy start growing more strength because of his masculinity, his masculine future, while the girl might not have same future or the same strength with the boy child. And then the developmental stages that goes on between these two individuals are different. So sex determines our growth and development, and the orientation a boy have might not be the same the orientation the girl will have. Then environment, like we said in the other side, I told you some of the features are similar. Our environment plays a great role in our life. And so from what I explained in the other part of it, the people we surround ourselves with, what we expose ourselves in the environment matters a lot. So let's expose our children and ourselves to a good environment, better people. Surround yourself with good people who motivate and drives you to do what is right. Then we'll talk about exercise and health. This does not mean you must go on a jogging, do physical exercise. No, the ability of the child to be an active growing child that plays with his mate, take part in physical activities that every normal child grows up with, affects the health of the child. A child that is sick might not be active, but a child that is healthy is very active. And so the health and exercise a child gets involved determines his growth and development. Helps the child to grow muscles, helps the child to grow strength, helps the child to grow mental ability, helps the child to have good moods. These are the things that affect our life. Hormones, our body secretes different hormones. At maturation, at adolescence, the body secretes hormones that help the sexual features to develop: the breast, the pubic hair, the armpit hair, the jaw hair, the deep voice, the dense, the bone density, and a host of other things that a child develops. The hormones are involved in these kind of development. Once the body secretes such hormones, this development starts surfacing. And then nutrition, what do you eat? We are what we eat. It's either you eat to health or you eat to death. If we eat junk, we are going to come up with different ailments, different disease conditions that will show up over time. But when we eat healthily, then our body absorbs these nutrients, and then we will live a healthier life and a better life. So our nutrition plays a great role in the way we develop, either growth or development. There are foods that boost our mood. There are foods that boost the brain functionality. There are foods that help growth, height, size, weight. And then we'll have family influence. If the family we grow up to meet are people who are not responsible, the child is going to suffer because he's going to come up with traits that resemble that of his family. But if you come into a family that are responsible, that are stable, that are mentally stable, physically stable, socially stable, then the child is going to be a well-respected individual, unless the child go the other way around. That is to say, the child have chosen his course, not a course that the family have laid down for the child. Socio-economic status. The status of where you come from matters a lot, because if the family are well to do, the child goes to a good school, the child eats good nutrition, the child do things that socially will affect his social well-being. He socializes with the good, not the bad. He eats good food. He's well clothed. He's well cared for. The love and care showered on the child makes the child build some personal characteristics that are just good for his future life. So these are factors that affect us. They promote factors affecting growth and development, and factors that promote development. So these are features that affect growth and development: physical factors, emotional factors, social factor, economic factor, environmental factor. And then factors that promote our development: hereditary, sex, environment, exercise and health, hormones, nutrition, family influence, and socio-economic status. So this is what we are taking for our class today. Next class we'll go to other areas of our basic science class. Please watch the video again and again to gain an in-depth understanding of what we have discussed, and see how these will help you to better your life as a parent, as an adult, or as a student growing up. See what affects your growth and see better things that you expose your life to have good development, good growth, and a better life. It was nice having you on Class Online School. Thank you very much for dropping by. Thank you for always coming to the channel to see our videos. I'll see you in our next class.